Upon his return from injury this season, Hunter Greene was absolutely dominant over his last four starts. Just 2 earned runs allowed in 23 innings, but his dominance goes back even further. Go back before the injury, he had 2 starts in July and early August. So take all that in the second half. He pitched 35 in the third inning with 51 strikeouts, 8 walks, and a 1.02 ERA. So what happened? Why did we see the improved results? Well, I think it starts here with his velocity, his fastball. Over his final 6 starts, Greene averaged 99.8 miles an hour. He averaged 98.7 before that. Elite velocity either way, but I do think there is a pretty noticeable difference between the two. The increase significantly increases the margin for error that Greene had. He also increased the usage with the fastball from 52.2% before the All-Star break to 58.6%. And while some may see that as a negative, I honestly see it as a positive. It benefited Greene in a way. We also see Greene's slider velo jump from 87.8 miles an hour prior to the All-Star break to 89.3 over those final 6 starts. Greene also saw some improvements with his spin rates and his induced vertical break. His induced vertical break actually improved nearly an inch, which is pretty noticeable when we're talking about that. And his horizontal movement increased as well. Spin rates jumped over his final 4 starts. His spin rate on his four seam jumped from 2360 RPM before to 2401 down the stretch. And his slider RPMs jumped from 2357 to 2404. Over that stretch, the final 4 starts, he had a 39.7% whiff rate on the four seam and a 38.2% whiff rate on the slider. Now, one of the most notable things I think when we're looking at this with Greene is that he threw the ball in the heart of the zone less often, which got him in trouble and it caused him to allow some home runs. So in the first half, his four seam had a 26.4% usage in the heart of the zone, and that dropped to 24.5% in the second half. I think that's pretty noticeable. His slider rate also dropped significantly from 22.3% in the first half to 14.7% in the second half on those pitches in the heart of the zone. Greene finished with an 18.6% swinging strike rate over those final 6 starts. That is incredible. Now, his final season line ended at 4.44 ERA, but he did have a 3.33 SIERA, which is pretty notable difference there. A 21.8% K minus BP rate, a 29.2% CSW, and a 14.5% swinging strike rate. Now, what will Greene's ADP look like in 2023? I'm not sure. He definitely increased his value down the stretch, but I think there's another step if these changes continue. So Greene is a good buy for 2023, and I think he's still an excellent buy in dynasty leagues.